You wake up somewhere that you have never been before. You look in the mirror and you see someone or something staring right through you. Ghosts, demons, witches, and monsters exist here. You quickly realize that the fear is all too real. A dark shadow slowly creeps up behind you. As you try to escape, you find yourself lost in an endless maze of insanity and terror. Your eyes see, but your mind won't allow you to believe. You have now become a chapter in the dark tales of the macabre. There is only one thing that is completely universal, and that thing is the law. The terms of the laws and how they are enforced differ everywhere, but they still have them in place. The same can be said about the spirit world. They have rules in place to keep order. One man will soon attempt to bridge the gap between them, to bring the law of the human world crashing into the afterlife. What kind of man has the kahunas to try this? The foulest of men, a lawyer. Chapter 3, Laws of Men.
It's Friday night, and two business associates, Roderick and Tim, are walking out of their office building after a long, long week of work. They couldn't be more relieved to be off the clock.
Glad this week is finally over. Have a good one, man.
You have a good weekend as well, Tim. See you in court on Monday. Pardon me, I didn't mean to bump you, sir.
Watch where you're walking, you frickin' menace.
I'd just ignore him. He's nothing but a bitter old man.
Roderick agrees with him, says his goodbyes again as he turns to cross the road. The run-in with the angry man startled him, so he didn't think to look both ways before crossing. Not realizing a bus was barreling towards him.
Roderick, watch out, there's a bus coming!
He awoke on the ground in a pitch-black room. The only light around him was seeping under the doorway and through the small square window exiting the room. Roderick saw a silhouette of a man in that light, walking towards the door to enter the room.
Ouch, what happened? Where the hell am I?
Precisely where you are, young man.
What? How am I in hell?
A strange-looking gray-haired man with big, thick glasses walks in.
It's quite simple that even a child would understand. You got hit by a bus due to your own negligence, then you died, and then wound up in hell.
There must be some mistake. I don't belong down here. I belong up there. You got the wrong guy.
I think not. Do you see right there? That is your name, is it not? In bold print. Roderick Rude. No mistake at all. You are where you are meant to be indeed.
Who's in charge then? Because I want to appeal.
You know who's in charge here, Mr. Rude? The head honcho himself. If you really want to appeal, I suggest you get a really good lawyer.
Oh, believe me, I have one who never loses.
I'm intrigued. Oh, do tell. Who might that be?
You just so happen to be looking at him.
Order in the court. All rise for the Honorable Judge Lucifer.
Roderick begins to sweat, as the man who welcomed him to his potential eternity was correct. He had to plea his case to the man in charge, the devil himself.
Welcome, Hot Rod. I've been waiting for you for a long time, so you don't think you belong here, is that true?
I know I don't because I have done a lot of good for the world. I have saved dozens of people from life in prison and from the death sentence.
Well, I disagree, and I will show you exactly why you belong here and why you are one of my favorites.
The judge then vanishes completely, but quickly reappears in a suit as the prosecutor.
My court, my rules. This isn't SVU. With me being an unorganized guy, Roddy, I misplaced Hitler decades ago and still can't find him. I think he's in a tar pit somewhere. That's how unorganized I am. So let's start out of order with something you just mentioned. First piece of evidence against you. All these people you claim to have saved from life in prison or from death. Every one of them were being charged with murder or drug charges. How is that helping the world by setting murderers free? Killers that were hellbound, I might add, and you postponed their arrivals.
No, you're wrong. There was not enough evidence proving that they were guilty, so they were legally found innocent.
Blackmailing people to misplace evidence or paying off a judge isn't helping your case, pal. Remember who I am. I see everything, and I do mean everything.
After hours and hours of debate, Roderick tried to find a loophole for everything thrown against him. But the devil threw everything back at him with cold, hard facts, and he is now ready to give his verdict.
The defendant has proven to me that he is one hell of a lawyer, all pun intended. But as I stated earlier, you can't lie to the devil. if you'll look at this floating magical screen to the past. I know I need a more menacing name for it, but do you remember this, Mr. Rude?
Yeah, I do actually. That's me from in the 4th grade.
On the screen is a young Roderick at a schoolyard, alone swinging while all the other kids are playing near the slide, all of them pretending he doesn't exist. He was a nervous kid who was shy and quiet, which prevented him from making any friends.
No one likes me. I talk weird. I wish I was the smartest talker ever.
A small girl he never seen before approached him on the swing, as if she appeared out of nowhere.
Are you a new student here?
No, I've been here a very long time.
Well, I've never seen you before.
That's not a surprise, but I've seen you. And I want to help you. What would you give to have your wish granted?
I'd give anything. I want popularity.
Would you sell your soul for popularity?
My soul? Yeah, I suppose I would.
She sat on the swing next to him. They struck the deal as they shook hands. Roderick would never be awkward again. The flashback ends. As the courtroom turns their attention to him, he jumps up in horror.
We were just kids playing around? How was I to know it was something more?
If you didn't sell your soul, do you know what your future would have been? You would have been a fast food employee who put all his wages back into the place, eating your sorrows away until at the age of 35, you would have died of a heart attack. So I expect to thank you. I saved you after all. A deal is a deal, Roddy boy. And FYI, that girl's name is Lilith. She's one of our soul brokers. Oh, I almost forgot. You're guilty. Guilty as charged. Your punishment is working in our legal department. You and Lilith will get reacquainted, as your job is to look over her contracts to make sure everything is proper. And occasionally, I will need your lawyer skills to prosecute a few souls. Your hours of employment will be from now until eternity. Welcome to the team.
It's not fair. Oh my God, no.
Life isn't fair, and neither is death. And also, God has no place here, so I'd appreciate if you don't say that name in these parts.
Poor Roderick was stuck between a rock and a hard place. There was no winning this court case. It was rigged from the start, like many of Roderick's cases themselves. One could say he got his just desserts. If you get unlucky enough to be sent downstairs, and if you try to plead your case, you should know. They now have the best lawyer around. And if you see him, then please tell him. We send our condolences for him and for you. End of chapter 3. Sometimes the light fades out, and the unseen horror begins. For those lost souls unfortunate enough to stumble in our web of darkness, we will see you next time. Until then, read the signpost up ahead. Beware what lurks in the dark tales of the macabre.